Well, we all like things that are consistent and predictable. The problem comes in when we assume our predictability versus God's predictability. Well, if you're joining us in reading through the 60-day reading plan, today's reading is 2 Peter 3 through 9, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, in verses 8 and 9, Peter argues that God does not forget his promises or his judgments, even though extended periods of time have passed. The quote comes from Psalm 94, which is where God addresses judgment on mankind. God will not forget nor delay his ultimate judgment on man. We just don't know the timing of the events. Obviously, not everyone who professes Christianity is professing the same message. We here in the West, meaning Europe, North, Central, and South America, hear from mainline Christians and those who are nonbelievers with the same feelings. Those who believe and those who don't believe may not be saying the same thing in the same words, but they are functioning in the same way. The decline of Western Christianity began with the Renaissance and sped up as rationalism and realism took over our thoughts. Now, I'm not suggesting that before the 15th century everything was well with Christianity. Well, that's far from it. But I am suggesting that the focus, beginning about the 15th century, changed from viewing God as central in our lives to viewing God as minimal or non-existent in our lives. Francis Schaeffer, an American Christian philosopher in the 20th century, wrote a book entitled How Should We Then Live? Now, in that book, he showed the progression of God becoming smaller and smaller in paintings and man becoming more and more in focus and larger. So how do we respond to people who like to put us down for our beliefs? The answer is in love. Everything we do in Christ should be focused on the fact that we are to love others. There is nothing that someone can do to us that hasn't been done to a much greater extent to God, and yet he still loves them. We do not have a choice in the matter. Our love for them must show itself in our service to them. It is only through our service that we can show them the way to Christ.